us, beating a playoff caliber / Super Bowl caliber team perennially, and then winning at home. We haven't been very successful at home, so it's that time of year where every win's a big one. So this is a big one for us.
Obviously, not playing well enough to win, and can come in a lot of different, ways, turnovers, and just missed opportunities. I think that's what it comes down to. Too many plays where we got opportunities to do stuff with it, and we don't. So it's football. I mean, wish outcomes were different, obviously, this week, last week, but just have to get back to work.
We were, I don't say at a crossroad, but there was, sink or swim, whatever you want to call me. There's some decisions need to be made. Some guys, we all need. Are we going to step up and play? Are we going to come together as a team? Are we going to kind of divide each other? What's going to happen? Who knows? And this was going to be a great challenge for us at home against, like I said, a team that is always one of the best. And so I thought guys answered the bell today.
All right, CC, let's start from the Steelers' perspective, and then we'll talk Patriots. What was the key to the Steelers' win? How'd they come out and beat the Pats team?
Well, from a defensive standpoint, they were very aggressive from the beginning. You could see that typically a Pittsburgh defense is a two-gap, a line control, where their defensive linemen try to man the line of scrimmage, try to keep the offensive linemen off the linebackers and have the linebackers run and make all the tackles. They changed this game plan where they were going for penetration into the backfield, not two-gap, but one-gap, so that they could alter the down and distance on first and second down, forcing New England because they weren't afraid of them and their wide receivers. Because when you look at New England, the way New England looks at people, say if we can take away one weapon, if you do that to New England, who would it be?
Gronk, I think.
No, it'd be Sony Michel, the running back.
Sure. Okay.
Let's take away their running back, and then we would go to Gronk and/or Edelman. But the number one thing with New England is let's negate their running game, because their offensive line is not a great offensive line. But if you have Brady back up the pass and you don't have the play action threat, it's easier to be able to get to him. And that's what the Pittsburgh Steelers were able to do. Sony Michel, we're going to limit him, not allow him to have a big game, because that's what the Pats want to do every game, to be able to make it easier for Brady and for their passing attack. So Pittsburgh Steelers did a great job of that and negating big plays after the one big play they gave up halfway through the first quarter.
To your point on the running game, the Pats this year, when Sony Michel, or when they have 100 yards rushing, they're 7-0. When they don't, they're 2-5. So it is the biggest predictor, even more so than home, away, anything. But the other thing the Steelers did was, kind of big picture-wise, this is one of the very best defensive performances of the entire Mike Tomlin era. To win this game the way they did, to get a red zone stop when you're up 14-10, then to get another one late in the game, because I thought the Patriots were going to win, even though it was on the road, because Patriots always beat the Steelers in this spot. And the Steelers seem to always lose in this spot against this one particular team. I just didn't know how the Steelers were going to get their heart ripped out. Oh, it's going to be a touchdown with 5 seconds left, and then an overtime loss. But they got stop after stop. Hayden made that great play. And as you mentioned, see, they had one defensive lapse, miscommunication, whatever it was, the entire game. And because Big Ben didn't play great, the only player on the Steelers offense that played great was Jalen Samuels. Jalen Samuels, who in college, his career high in college rushing was 74 yards. He was more of an H-back. He goes 19 for 142 in his first NFL start. Or second NFL start, pardon me. He was exceptional, and he was the biggest difference for the Steelers offensively. And defensively, they stymied the Pats, really unlike they've been stymied all year long.
And an uncharacteristically messy game for the Patriots. I mean, we talked last week about how, hey, coming off a loss like they had against the Dolphins, Belichick was going to have these guys buttoned up, focused, ready to play, and it really did not look like that yesterday on the field, see?
Well, if you look at a game 17-10, from a Pittsburgh Steelers standpoint, if you'd have told Bill Belichick, hey, Bill, they're going to have 17 points, he said, okay.
Sign me up.
Oh, we're going to win that game, because there's a lot of different ways I can win if they only have 17 points. So I believe that from a coaching standpoint, they were buttoned up. But they're not robots in New England. The crowd had a tremendous effect on the Pittsburgh Steelers. They were so loud. They knew. This was a desperate franchise, a desperate team playing against a team that has dominated them. So there are a number of penalties they had. I was shocked by the way they played. But Pittsburgh being so aggressive, a lot of times when teams are aggressive, you're a half step behind, so you're clutching, you're grabbing, and that's what that offensive line was doing throughout the game. That's not Belichick's fault. You have to give the Pittsburgh Steelers some credit for that.
We are watching a different Patriots team. They have not had 5 losses in a year, 5+ since 2009. In the last 2 regular seasons combined, they were 27-5. They are now 9-5. They haven't had a losing record on the road since 2009. They haven't, as you mentioned earlier, lost back-to-back December games since 2002. And you said earlier, what's the key to stop? And I had Gronk on the mind because typically, it's late in games in that spot. They're trying to drive down the field, 4th and 15. You know who they're going to? Frankenstein's monster. But now he runs like Frankenstein's monster and he can't get open. 2 catches. What do you have? 2 catches for 21 yards in this football game? Like, he is a shell of his former self. Some people thought, oh, the Pats are waiting to kind of fully take Gronk out of the garage, so to speak, for these critical spots. This is a critical spot. You could have basically ended Pittsburgh's season and stayed alive for the 1 seed and stayed in position for the 2 seed. They haven't played in the wild card round since 2009. Right now, that's the spot they are going to be in unless the Texans trip up. And a lot of it, I know Brady's pick, he's trying to throw it away. He just didn't get the arm on it. But Brady this year, he's 11th in yards per attempt. He's 10th in touchdowns. He's 12th in passer rating. He's been an above-average quarterback, not a great quarterback, which is why when they don't have a running game, the offense looks like this.
How concerned are you with Tom Brady, where he is?
I'm not concerned with Tom because ultimately his play is going to come down a little bit. I'm more concerned about the supporting cast, the other wide receivers. Where's Edelman been? And we know started the season with the suspension. Okay, yeah. Where's Hogan been? Outside of the play from yesterday, he's been inconsistent. Josh Gordon, are you expecting him to be a 1,000-yard receiver after coming over, after not showing up for the Browns? And Gronk, like, look at their receivers. Like, how would you expect Tom Brady to have all this great productivity if Gronk is slowed down? Josh Gordon, people were thinking, oh, this is going to be the 2013 season. Shh. Okay, right. Okay, now, so when you don't have that many, when you don't have explosive players, that's what you start to see in Tom Brady. Is Tom Brady a little bit older? Yes, but they're also not as dangerous as they have been offensively the last couple of years.
It's been a decade since we're this late in the year and the Patriots haven't clinched anything. We got 2 weeks left. Patriots haven't clinched the playoffs, haven't clinched their division. And it's not because the AFC East is great. The Dolphins are sticking around at 7-7, still alive for the division. The Patriots now have to hope Houston trips up. They don't control getting a bye, and that is shocking for this